Despite Ludwig Leichhardt discovering significant coal in the region in 1845, it wasn't until 1886 that Blackwater Township was gazetted. And another 80 years would pass before large-scale mining began when the Utah Development Company established Blackwater Mine in 1967. In the following 50 years, the Blackwater Mine and the township that's become known as the coal capital of Australia have been inseparably linked, sharing in prosperity and growth, weathering downturns, tragedy and turbulence, and now, in 2017, facing the future together with confidence. While the history of Blackwater Mine is officially measured from when actual mining began in 1967, wheels had been set in motion and preparations had been going on around the world for many years prior to this. At the time, Blackwater, with a population of 25, consisted of 10 houses along Railway Street, a railway station, the pub, grocery store, 2 petrol stations and a one-room school.
I was the first Utah construction employee. There was no electricity, so they used kerosene lanterns except at the pub, and they had a generator to keep the beer cold.
And I went out to Blackwater in the end of July 1966 and joined the maintenance crew, and we were supporting the earthworks machinery that was building the railway line formation and started to peg out the haul road and the industrial area.
Utah Mine at that stage, just from a camp point of view, was fed off a 132 kV line at 66 kV from Mara, but Blackwater Town didn't have any power at all.
I was the first mining engineer, and yes, I did when we drilled out the coal, I did the mine planning and costing and ordered the equipment.
We built a Busaris Erie dragline that went to work sometime later in 1967.
We were on 63.70 when I went out there, plus you could work a bit overtime, which would rack up over the $100, $120 a week, which is good dollars.
The official opening in 1968 by Queensland Premier J.C.A. Pizzey and Utah Chairman Mariner S. Eccles was a grand affair. A special passenger train even brought guests from Rockhampton. Members of the community, with support from the mine, gave countless hours of their time to build and develop community assets.
Everyone that worked at the mines lived in the town. It was a really great community.
And I was part of the crew of golfers who helped build the Blackwater golf course that's out there today.
Community events were always well attended, and the mine picnics were eagerly anticipated.
A lot of history in that. In the early days, the railway station was the hub of Blackwater. It was where everyone met on a Friday night, got their meat, got their groceries.
The lessons learned in defying the odds and building this world-class operation from humble beginnings have created a wealth of hard-earned knowledge and experience that the current generation of miners are only too happy to take on board.
The main thing for someone starting now, or in the future, is probably take notice of the older people around the mine site and don't get too cocky on yourself.
It's really an opportunity for us to look back and say, well, that's right, these things worked really, really well, and these things maybe didn't go so well, and how can we make sure that we do it better moving forward?
Look how it's gone in the past and really look what we can do in the future. That's pretty much the story of Blackwater.
In 1985, BHP acquired Utah International as a new division in the biggest corporate takeover Australia had seen, surprising many in a time of worldwide recession and falling prices. Mining operations at South Blackwater Mine were incorporated into Blackwater Mine in 2000, and the lyrics of the song recorded for South Blackwater's 25th anniversary still ring true today.
As the sun rises over the expedition range, it shines upon a coal mine gearing up for change.
In 2001, the site was brought under the banner of BMA, and the mine became known as BMA Blackwater. But while the operation has had many different badges, it's the people who make the mine.
People have changed over the years. It used to be real larrikins.
Been lots of characters. There's still a few floating around here. A lot of practical jokes back then.
Some of the stories that you'd hear from a lot of the old blokes, like a lot of the stuff nowadays just doesn't happen.
There's some extremely successful and encouraging people that make you want to work harder.
We have a good team, we always have laughs, and it's a good place to work.
In those days we all worked together, we lived together in the same town, we were in the same sporting teams, our children went to the same schools, and we got to know each other very well. And a lot of us, regardless of who you were in the mining community, you know, we were on school committees and helped run fetes, hospital auxiliary, ambulance committee, all those sorts of things, because we were all in it together.
We had an older couple living up next door to us, Daff and Charlie Waite. Mate, they were the older couple, so they were grandparents. They were like the grandparents in our area, you know, because there wasn't many grandparents. They were all younger couples who went there.
When I first come to Blackwater, 7-year-old, it was very, everyone knew everyone. Yeah, the mine manager's kids played with us and it was all just a big family.
I think at that stage everybody knew each other and they all looked out for each other's children.
In the early days, the mine was very supportive with sporting bodies around the town. Sport was a big thing in Blackwater. Cricket, football, golf, it was all supported real well.
Not many dads get an opportunity to be able to take their kids to school in the mornings and pick them up in the afternoon on your rostered days off and things like that, and even had a stint in the tuck shop and all that sort of stuff, which was good, you know.
I've got family here. My wife's born here, my daughter goes to school here, bought a home here. So this is my place of residence and hopefully I'll end my career here.
The mine will support the town and the town supports the mine. So.
Yeah, I've always been local. Thankful for the opportunity that I've been given as a local member to work in a mine.
Look, I think the people make this place and the people make the town.
Blackwater, we brought a child with a disability up in that town, and I think for the first 9 years of his school life was probably the best place we could have brought him up.
The population of Blackwater exploded. People from all nationalities were welcomed with open arms. As well as the Americans who came to work on the Blackwater Mine project, there was an influx of Utah workers from varying nationalities who had previously worked on the Snowy River hydro scheme.
And my parents were German, and they used to have barbecues and get all the other different nationality people to come around.
The kids soon adapted to the Aussie accents.
It took about a month for them to be able to understand Australian English when they were in school. The girls were in tears after the first day because they couldn't understand the teacher.
And people from overseas are still being attracted to Blackwater.
I'm very passionate about large mining equipment. That was one of the main parts to come to Australia to work with the biggest gear in the world.
Overseas tourists are among the thousands who have been through the Blackwater International Coal Centre since it opened in 2008. BMA was a founding sponsor and remains an ongoing supporter of this facility. One area that has improved markedly over time is the attitude to safety.
There wasn't the understanding, I don't think, about safety, and it's important in the early days. People could take a shortcut, they would take a shortcut. And I think that's where a lot of the incidents and accidents came from.
There's more unreportable incidences than reportable incidences.
Everyone would just clumber in the back of a utility and there would be overloaded in the back of this ute to go up to a safety meeting.
We've learnt some really expensive lessons the hard way. So while it's important we learn from that, we've also got to do what we can proactively. It's not enough to see something wrong and then fix it. We've got to take the opportunity to fix it before it becomes a problem. The attitude to safety on site starts from the very top with a commitment from senior management that we do everything I can to make sure people go home safely.
The mine has supported many safety initiatives over the years, including the Stay Alert and Stay Alive campaign that grew from the passion of another singing dragline operator.
If you want to survive that drive.
We've got 150 years of resource here. It's not a mine that's going to finish up in 5 or 10 years, and we've got people that their parents have lived here and worked here and their kids are working here and living here.
I'm third generation. Both my grandfather and my father have worked out here.
I've always been a Blackwater local. I've always lived here since I was 7. My father actually came as a warehouse wash plant foreman, and he was out here until he retired.
Probably 32 million is probably our true capacity. We've got South Blackwater down the bottom end of the lease, which we pretty much haven't worked there probably for the last 8 years or so. So that's definitely on the drawing boards to make a comeback, and that's where a lot of our future will be as well, where a lot of our bypass coal is.
From a geological point of view, it covers everything in coal mining that you could possibly want. Rehab's going to be a major focus over the next 50 years.
The biggest mine site in Queensland, and I'm working at it. Yeah, it's something to tell my kids when they get older and that.
Other mines are sort of dying off a bit, but we're still going pretty good. Yeah, well, I tell everybody I'm 32, but I already know 30 years left in me, but I don't know about that.
It's something we can all be proud of. It's very rare for a mine to have that long a lifespan. There's a massive amount of history there, and there's still a long future in front of Blackwater.
The future's big, so it's a big mine, it's a big resource.
I'm quite happy for my kids to be here. You know, they can go to school here. Their kids potentially could go to school here.
50 years means that so many people before me have come and are still here. And no matter how short of time they've been here, whether if it's 5 years like myself or 30 years or 15 years, they all had an impact one way or another on the community or on the mine itself.
One of the biggest operations in the world, and there's still a big, bright future ahead of it.
It is an absolute honour to be able to work on a site that has that sort of history in that 50 years. The 50 years is something that I think we should all be really, really proud of, and 150 years to go.
Once we achieve 1818, we achieve our full installed capacity of Blackwater, and that'll be a great contribution to a fantastic history over 50 years of Blackwater, and it will be one that will set up future generations and future teams to come on board to continue to take Blackwater on a proud and extensive journey.